My husband spends money on internet intimacy while I have to use the food pantry to feed our baby. My husband and I have a baby who is 1 year old. When I gave birth to my son, the insurance company refused to cover my baby and we were responsible for nearly $20,000 worth of medical bills, which put us in a great amount of financial struggle. After the traumatic birth, I had no income. I had preeclampsia and had to stay at home for the last month of my pregnancy and had gotten my job when I was a few months pregnant. I wasn't there long enough to make FMLA, so I was let go since I didn't have any paid time off to be leaving before the baby was born. About 2 months before I gave birth, our childcare option fell through and we couldn't afford traditional daycare. I have a chronic illness that caused some piling up of medical debt I was paying on monthly, and it ate up every spare penny we had. After giving birth and receiving the large medical bill, I had no choice but to find someone to watch the baby so I could go to work. My mother decided to retire and take care of the baby. I was working 3 jobs and was still responsible for the baby, cleaning the house and making sure meals were made for everyone, including packing my husband's lunch. There was absolutely no money left for groceries or personal products. I had to use the only food pantry with food stamps I could get to, and it only offers food once a month. I would make it last the entire month. I would go so long without eating, I could no longer breastfeed and had to ask for partial cans of formula from moms in the community whose babies wouldn't take it or they had switched to milk and had some leftover. It was so embarrassing. But, while sorting mail on a Friday night, I came across what I assumed to be a duplicate medical bill and was going to throw it away when I decided to open it. It was a check in my name for $1,000 and change. It was a refund for some medical bills that the insurance decided to pay. I ran upstairs and woke my husband up with joy that for the very first time, we'd be able to pay our mortgage without having to choose to have electricity or gas for the car. It was amazing. The following Sunday, I was sorting more mail and made a promise to myself to never ever throw away mail without opening it. I picked up a bank statement and put it in the throwaway pile, but thought to myself about my promise. I decided to open it just in case. That's when I found it. Hundreds of dollars being sent to people I've never heard of. I thought someone stolen my husband's debit card information. But then I looked up at him, sitting in his armchair, and realized, no one stole his card. He's been throwing away money on other women. I asked him if he needed to tell me anything and he said no. And I said, I'm looking at the bank statement and can see everything you've spent money on. Are you sure there's nothing you'd like to tell me? And he assured me there wasn't. I folded it back up and walked upstairs. He looked at the statement and came up and stood in front of me. Now, I'd like to take this time to share that for 4 years I had begged him for intimacy, but rarely got it. It's a miracle that our baby was made. I was completely available and begged him for it, but was rejected. He had been paying women from the internet for video intimacy with money that could have been used for groceries, soap, baby supplies and other needs. Instead, he had been throwing it away on other women, far better looking than me. We went to therapy a few times. He has no idea how much I hate myself. I smashed the bathroom mirror when I found out because I couldn't bear to look at myself. I am so hideous that he can't touch me. And now, after what I know, I can't be unclothed longer than a quick shower. Even that is awful. I hate myself. He has destroyed me. My parents are on his side. I called my mom to ask if I could stay with her for a while and she said no. She went as far as to drive me in her car a few weeks after I told her what happened and told me it was my fault and if I were a better wife, it wouldn't have happened.